Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's yours truly, Joe Dupree in the building, 100 BLK, the Black Station. It's 14 minutes past the hour. I know everybody's been reaching out to me too, saying, what's going on? Where y'all at? Wait a minute. Where they at? Where they at? And this is incredible. Listen. Are we on a telepathic way?
Right, Joe?
My girl Jackson's in the building, the life strategist, the art therapist, the speaker, the author. And today we gonna we threw the bat signal out. Where in the world is Brother Fatim? we listen. I ain't even gonna tell you why we late, but where is Brother Fatim? That's what I gotta say. Good morning, family. Good morning, everybody. Let me ring the bell. Round of applause. Good morning. How y'all doing?
What you say, Joe?
I can't call it. I can't see it. Good morning. Where is Brother Fatim? That's the question. KC?
Yeah, KC. Where our brother
KC? Where Brother Fatim? Good morning, family. Good morning. Welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told on the 20th day of August. Today is Tell the Truth Tuesday. Not only is it Tell the Truth Tuesday at the 9 o'clock hour, 10 o'clock hour on the East Coast, the doc gonna be in the building. So if you got some question that you scared to ask your doctor, if you got some stuff you don't want to talk about when it comes down to your doctor, the doc gonna be in the building. So tell a friend to tell a friend. The doc gonna be in the building. What's up, Doc? With Doc Griggs, he gonna be in the building. So welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. Maybe we all recovering from last night in the DNC. I was motivated. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, you know what? Tell me, Joe. Tell me about it, because I was out at an event last night and I didn't get home till like 3 o'clock this morning. So let me know what happened, because I have to catch the news today to follow up.
That's why I'm waiting on Brother Fatim to get on. Maybe that's why he late. Maybe he took a quick trip to Chicago. I don't know about. Maybe he's somewhere trying to settle down in Chi-Town, because last night got me motivated, man.
Wow.
Got me motivated. That's all I can say. Good morning, family. How y'all doing on this morning? Oh my God. Man, that pillow said, "Don't let me go." I was held hostage, y'all. The SWAT team had to come in and relieve had to take my pillow into custody.
Oh my God. That has seatbelts on it, Joe, huh?
And my pillow had me held hostage. My pillow said, "You move, it's on. It's on if you move." If you move.
Oh my God. That's funny.
My God.
And we got the yellow on. I guess we was both tired, and it's just like we got to be a ray of sunshine today and a ray of light. So
I don't know what. Listen, 2 days in a row with no communication. I'm starting. Ooh.
That's right.
Hey, yes. Are we in that zone? Good morning, family. Good morning to everybody in the chat. Good morning. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this with a friend. You know, we broadcasted live, and look at here. I told you, I thought it was in Chi-Town. You know, we are live on Instagram. We are live on YouTube. Definitely like our YouTube channel at the 100 BLK Media. I'm still seeing a black screen. I don't know if he's here, there, anywhere. I ain't bringing him on until I see him. I don't know where he's at.
That's right.
He might be held hostage.
So wait, Joe. How is the weather there? It's getting like still like cloudy, a bit sunny, but like all overcast.
Man,
how is
it is hot as Hades here.
Really?
It is hot as Hades. Yesterday, I think, to be exact, Sunday, when I was coming back in, literally it was a heat advisory because the feel like temperature was 120.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It was 120. Speaking of which, here he is.
Whoop, he messed it up. Where's yellow? Well, he got the yellow skin, kind of. So you kind of with us, Fatim. You got the yellow skin.
Oh, what's the hell? Like, it's yellow. What's this yellow thing?
We don't know. Yesterday it was the blue thing we didn't know about. So eventually you ain't on the spiritual wavelength. That's all. That's
right. Nope, I'm down. I'm down in where you say it's hot as Hades. I guess I'm down there with it. Bring the hot sauce. And I don't eat hot sauce. I bring
all right. Good morning.
I done drank most of my water. Good morning.
Yeah. Well, at least you brought your water holder. You know him from the open lines, and keeping it real with Reverend Al Sharpton. That's our brother from another mother. He might not come when you want him, but he's always on time. Brother Fatim in the building. Brother Fatim, good morning, my brother.
Good morning. Good morning, man. I tried to come through the messenger, and it just hung. So I had to copy from the phone, email it to me, and go through my email to get on. So
yeah, something crazy going on today, but nevertheless, it is.
ChatGPT was having a problem earlier today too.
I mean,
so
good morning, something going crazy in the internet world. You never know what it might be, and at the end of the day, I know my pillow is under getting charged right now. They're fingerprinting my pillow right now. SWAT team busted in and said, "Let him go." Let him go.
Let him go. Let him go, baby. Let him go. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How y'all doing today with this yellow streak down y'all back? What's wrong with y'all today?
Because you know what? Look, we both tired. I was saying I was at an event last night with my husband. We didn't get back home till about 3:00 this morning. So
Lord.
I was held hostage too. And I don't know how my husband's doing it, because when we got back home, he still had to go to Jersey City. He chose to help a brother out, because a brother that we know is moving to Trinidad, he and his family. So we got back home. No, we got back home about 2, because then my husband said at 3, he had to go pick up the brother and his family to take them to the airport. And I'm like, my husband didn't even get home from work until late last night. Then we had the event. Then he had to take the brother to the airport and his family. Then he came back. Then he was back out the door by around 6:37 to train somebody at the track. And so I'm like, and he got a long day. Today is a long day. So he has another event with kids this evening. And I'm just like, how is this brother even going to function throughout the day? But I'm like, it's on him. He don't listen to me.
I got to talk to your husband. One thing I know, man to man, never tell another man how to run his household. That's the first thing. That's my disclaimer. I could see Joe be like, okay, I want that same above as below. That same energy that's outside, I want that inside.
That's right. Amen.
I want to take some time and start with the sun up and put into you. From sundown. That same you same. This is me. This is Fatim speaking. This is Fatim. Brother Bernal know how to get in touch with me. He know what I mean. You understand? Well, I come from a righteous background. I come from a background where we break our ass to help other people, because that's the humanity in us. And I will never, ever tell that to take away from a person. Yeah. But I never let Hanifa had to tell me you're not putting enough time at home. Yeah. I'm not saying he's not. Don't get to that. Brother, you in my business right now. I'm not saying that. I said it. I didn't say it. I said never let it get to that point. Exactly. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
We'll have that conversation on one of our back production meetings after the show is over. That's what we're doing.
I got something to do today. No back production meeting for me.
Listen.
Oh gosh,
I'm in the same boat you in. So guess what? We know that the Most High will disseminate what He needs to disseminate into our CPU to upload the information that I'll miraculously bit by bam alakazam. There you go. That's all I got to say.
That's right.
Listen, Brother Fatim, did you?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay,
towel, dude. I sprayed myself in the face.
And I need to get up to get some tissue. I forgot to grab my doggone tissue. Look, you know what? I didn't take my CMOS because I fasted over the weekend, right? And the fast was, I know I needed Fatim. Thank you. I did my fast over the weekend, and it was a phenomenal fast. It's crazy how the devil tries to get you like 3 hours in. As soon as I say I'm going to fast, it's like within 3 hours, I'm like, oh my God, I'm thirsty as hell. I'm hungry as hell. I'm like, what am I going to do? But I'm like, that ain't nothing but the devil. But I was able to fast from, I guess it was about 9:00 on Friday night to 9:00 on Saturday night. No food, no water, no drink, no gum, no mints, no nothing, no brushing your teeth, no water hits your mouth.
No sex.
No, exactly. No sex, no nothing for that 24 hours.
No upset, no negative energy, no arguing, no loud talking.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what it is.
Yep. So the first 3 hours is the roughest, and the last maybe about hour, it's just like you looking at the watch, like, oh Lord, please, is it almost time for me to break fast and pray and eat? But it was an amazing fast. So obviously I didn't take my CMOS. Then I had to go for blood work yesterday, so I had to fast and stuff, so I couldn't take my sea moss. And now my allergies is all over the place. So I'm like, that sea moss, there's something in that doggone sea moss, because it seemed like it was really helping my allergy. So I got to excuse myself and get some tissue. But go ahead.
Yeah, go. Well, I'm not going to say if you're going to disappear. But I said this to you the other day. Be careful when you purge. I always tell people when you're fasting, you got to be careful how you purge, because you got to realize we have toxins in our body. If we release too many toxins too fast out our body, we will get sick. Okay. So be careful with that. But I understand that, and following that, I guess, I can look back, I've observed the Sabbath before. And I guess, I have to look at the days that Hanifa got pregnant. I guess they were Mondays. After the Sabbath, I don't know about Fatia. I know about Rakaya, but I don't know about Fatia. I remember how Rakaya was made, because she took charge of that one. I was, she took charge of that, because I didn't want another child, because I didn't want to jeopardize. I felt that God has blessed us with one because of her miscarriages in the sickle cell. I said, I don't want to be stuck, not say stuck.
Yeah,
that's the right word. I don't want to have to be mommy and daddy because we were being greedy, and I'm with one child, and you're not here to enjoy that, because that was something that was dear to her heart, to have children, for me too, as well. But she had another reason. She was right. It worked. But when she was on that table getting that C-section, she signed that paper for a tubal ligation right there, because you didn't have to open her back up. You understand? And did that tubal ligation right there. So we were blessed with two beautiful daughters, and I thank her for that.
Amen.
But I don't remember when Fatia was made, but I know when Rakaya was made. In what room? Really? What time of the day? Oh yeah.
Wow.
She came, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you were saying after the Sabbath, like after fast?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. That's why I said she definitely got pregnant probably on a Monday or Tuesday.
Wow.
So watch this.
Well, I love this. My way for
listen, family. I love this, especially with my brother from another mother. We go from fasting, not being able to fast, and in the middle of us talking about no water, no gum, no fasting, brother Fatigue quickly threw in there, no sex. All of a sudden, we just shifted, and then we talk about, man, brother.
Oh, we didn't shift. We didn't shift, Joe. That's part of the whole fast. And I always said during Ramadan, that was my hardest thing. Food wasn't it. So Jack said, which I disagree with you, Jack. So when you say that's the devil, that's the mind, that's the stomach, that's our desires. And what happens is you tame your mind because you become more focused. And each day goes on, you get better.
I'm gonna tell you why I say the devil, right? Because yes, it's our mind, but the devil can play around and play with our mind, right? So if he knows that I'm going into a fast to get closer to the Most High and to, restrict myself and have more discipline, and I'm trying to do the right thing, anything that's trying to pull me to do the wrong thing is not of God. So that's why I personally just say, you know what? The devil trying to get me to throw me off my square, because I'm trying to sacrifice my body for the Most High.
Didn't we have this conversation the other day that that the whole issue that we want to look at everything negative is from the devil? That's not, that's not true. Everything comes from God. So those temptations may be tests.
Yeah,
those may be tests from the Most High.
Yeah,
but I do get that. But I want to go back to Joe for a minute, because I'm with you, sister. Me and you we on the same page over there.
Yeah,
it's got a little. Going back to Joe. That's why people say, why do y'all separate sex from, when we're fasting, we have to fast from, it's just not food. When people say they're fasting only if it's usually a spiritual or Sabbath thing, it's all of those things. It's sex as well. Again, I don't know why people look at that as taboo, because when I messed up on one day in Ramadan, because it wasn't. Hey, you said I shifted. How did I shift from fasting when she was listing things that she couldn't do, and I added sex, and she said yes? So how did I shift?
Hold it. But to me, brother Fatigue, that's, if I'm fasting, to me, that's a given. That's a given. That's just something. If I say, look, I'm fasting I'm going through a purging. To me, that's to me. Like I said, I don't know. I'm glad you brought it up. But what I was,
But she was listing things, so that's
brother,
why I added that.
But what I was making the point of, in for the review, it seems to be every time we have a conversation about
Damn right.
anything,
Damn right.
either the honey pack
Damn
come
right.
out,
Damn right.
with you, we find a way. We find a way that three little words jumps in there. Bam! And all of a sudden we like, okay.
Damn right.
Okay.
Damn right. Because when the joystick stop working, I ain't gonna be bringing it up. So I'm look, nope. I'm grown. When we were young, we had to hide our feelings, and I'm a grown man. And damn right, I enjoy sex, and I'm gonna talk about it just like I enjoy food and enjoy other things. If I talk about the things I enjoy, sex is one of them, and I'm gonna talk about it.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what, guys? If anybody's interested, I'm gonna be fasting more. You know, and for me, it's a spiritual fast. But if you want to join in with whatever fasting, just to try to fast to like really reset your body, and we can talk to the doc today about the benefits of actually fasting.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna actually fast on Wednesday. So if anybody wants to join me in my fast on Wednesday, I would love to have you join. You could message me. We could chit chat. You know, we could encourage and support one another. But literally, Wednesday sundown to Thursday sundown is when I'll do a fast. So if anybody wants to join, I would love to have you join. And you know, it's so funny when you talk about that honey pack. Yesterday, I was in the kitchen, right? And I was making jerk chicken Alfredo. And my kids love it. They said that's, you know, now their favorite meal, right? So as I'm making it, I make it spicy, but I always throw some honey in to sweeten it up a little bit. And the kids and my husband go crazy over it. So when I was making it, Olivia came in, she said, "Mommy, I cannot believe Brother Fatim took their honey pack on live air." I was like, "Oh God."
Only
Brother Fatim.
Only Brother Fatim. That's all I gotta say.
And I know what the doctor said. When I went to my my Dr. Tuesday, I brought it up.
Okay.
I brought it up. Oh yeah. See, I don't hide anything. These are the things that we have to, you know. And I said, yo.
Now you got cirrhosis of the liver and diabetes.
No, I got no cirrhosis. I ain't gonna take that much. I never taken one before.
Yeah.
I'm gonna order me a box just to keep it here, just in case I run out of my honey bear over there, my real honey.
That was what was so amazing to me, Brother Fatim, because like I said, I don't believe everything I read or everything I hear, but once again, you know, just make sure the ingredients on the pack is what it says on the pack, and then you got to ask yourself who'd you get it from. And then I know you got it from your guy from Tangy Tea, but you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Because
what's in it? What's in it is
anniversary, Fatim. Was it a week ago? Was it a week ago today?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, a week ago today.
Anniversary, Fatim.
My honeyversary, and my honeyversary gonna order me a box of honeyversary. Honey snack. That's what I'm, you know. But you know, I mentioned it to the doctor, and I did some research, and I found out what's in it. You know, and the reason why they said what, and I mentioned this, what Joe said is that they don't have all the ingredients in there, but it's not like some foreign ingredient. It's prescribed ingredients. It's prescription drugs that you need to be monitored if you want anything else at the end of the day. And from what I'm hearing is that they could possibly have both ingredients. So Sildenafil, which is Viagra, and also, I don't know the brand name for Cialis, but those two ingredients can be in the honey.
Okay.
That's from the research, you know.
Okay.
So before you came on, Brother Fatim, and I understand we don't know what's going on in the internet world today, but welcome everybody who is tuned in to hashtag Truth Be Told. Share this with a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend. We definitely want you to go and like our YouTube page. We are trying to get our YouTube page numbers up, and there is a reason. I'll explain the reason on another date, but you definitely need to go to our YouTube page and own 100 BLK Media. We are broadcasting live on YouTube. We're just not on this page, but this is the page we need to build up. We need to build this page up, get more subscribers, And we will be back and rocking and rolling next week on 100 BLK Media YouTube page. We are on YouTube right now and also broadcasting live on Instagram and on Facebook. Last night, did you see the DNC? I'm going to say something. Dems, I got to ring the bell. Y'all did something that I had never expected to be done last night. Y'all went at Trump. Everybody went at Trump. Everybody was basically saying you can either elect her or you can elect this bum. It's y'all choice. Elect her or elect the bum, because he's a bum. He's a convicted felon. He don't give a damn about the Americans. The only person, that's the first time I ever saw the Democratic Party go at anybody, because they are known to be the ones to say, let us tell you all the good stuff about us, but we're going to just let them be them. But this looked like they got a playbook out and said last night, guess what? You want to shoot shots at us? Bang, bang, we're shooting shots right back. And they shot shots. And listen, the former president is losing his mind, because now he's out here using AI-generated pictures of Taylor Swift. Oh, my God. Listen, he got the Swifties mad. When you got the Swifties after you, oh, you got problems. But last night was off the chain. And tonight, I just see it in the spotlights, the group of folks who they say are Republicans against Trump. Boy, they pulling out some guns tonight, because you never saw at the RNC Democrats against Kamala and Biden. But they pulling out tonight the Republicans, those who are in the Republican Party, who say, I'm a Republican. I ain't never going to be a Democrat, but I ain't voting for this dude. Man, they pull it out all the bang, 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 bang. That's all I can say. That's all I can say.
So last night, I agree with Joe. The Democratic Party got away from that cliche of BS.
Okay.
They also know what's at stake, and sorry, former First Lady Michelle Obama. You know I love you, my sister, but when Donald go low, we come after his ass.
Oh, they went.
And what happened is that we know what is at stake. So it's no use, and that's why I was trying to tell y'all before. And I was adamant about this, and I hate that it caused problems, because it's sort of, we got back and forth about our opinion. But I was trying to tell you we could not win this. The kind of energy that we have now is the energy we needed. We did not have this energy with Joe Biden, plus President Biden, because he's still the president. He needed to take his bow, because he's done a great job.
Thank God he did.
But we could not win this election talking about Trump being a 35 felon, convicted felon. We could not win that. We could not win this election. We have to get out there on issues. What we saw last night, on the first night the Democrats shot, they fired a not only a warning shot, they shot a real shot. And they sent it to the Republican Party. They sent it to Donald Trump and Senator J.D. Vance, and they sent it to America. I said it before, when you look at the RNC, and you don't see the reflection of America. You got token blacks, a couple of token blacks that speak over the RNC. You saw last night a multicultural people. My man, I never even said it on this show. I've never said it on this show. How close I am to Senator Walnut Raphael. I used to produce his show when he did the sermon for Reverend Calvin Butts, because he comes out of that church, Abyssinian Baptist Church, before he went on down to Atlanta to Ebenezer Baptist Church. He's called me out when I walked in his church late. That's how close I am. He knocked it out the park. AOC knocked it out the park. Congresswoman, AOC. Everybody that got former First Lady. Hillary Clinton knocked it out the park last night. Everybody that got up there. Let me give kudos. First of all, thank you, Democratic Party, for honoring Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. Thank you for that. For his son, Reverend Sharpton, his other son, to come out there with Jonathan Jackson in Congress now. This is the way you do it, and it just gets better. And then to put the cherry on the top, because I wish I could have ruined my TV last night, because I got it hooked up on my app versus my cable box. My cable box, I rewind that. I thought I saw Joe Biden run out to his daughter a little bit last night. I said, whoa, he
Come
got
on now.
So,
Come
and
on.
then to give him that stage, excuse me, some people say he should have spoke earlier. No, he closes it. He is the closer. He's the closer, and you give him that just due.
Because he's
You
the
let him
president.
Right.
He's
But
the
you let-
president right now.
Right. But he don't have to be the closer. He could have spoke earlier. But you let him do that because you want him to have that climax, because we wanted to thank him and we wanted him to feel it, and we just didn't want nothing to come after that. But what I'm saying, last night, I have to say last night, I am proud to say I was a Democrat. Not that I won't vote for a Republican. I have voted for Republicans before, but I voted for Republicans that came in with some sane ideas, that talked sensible and was talking about the people. But last night, I don't care if you don't have to support the Democratic Party. I don't want you to ride the train. But one thing I want to see you criticize last night, compare all 4 nights of the RNC to 1 night of the DNC. You can't do it. You can't stand up against it. You can't
do it. You can't do it. Please, I want you to please understand. If you look at all 4 nights, as you said, of the RNC, and I'm just going to be real with you, last night was a referendum on the man himself, Donald J. Trump, to say, listen, he can talk all that. Here's the real numbers. Last night, man, did you see Representative Lockett? She gave some real numbers. I was getting ready for her to say, she said, you know what I said the last time, them other folk over there, them bad built butch, them folk. But last night, she gave some real numbers. So here's the thing. Don't let the propaganda machine fool you. I had to do something last night, and that's probably one of the reasons I overslept. I literally was looking at the price of certain items. And the price is totally different today than it was back when 45 was in office. And it is a lower price. Now, here's the problem, though. Though it's a lower price, certain things with inflation, and that's where they really get you. They don't tell you how some of these local municipalities, with the raising of taxes, property taxes, and other things, that's where the inflation comes in at. You got to understand lumber. The chief ingredient to any building is lumber. Lumber and steel are the 2 chief ingredients to building anything. And those today are much cheaper than they were back when he was in office. So watch this. If that is the case, go ahead, brother Fatim. If I say it, he got to double Google it. Let's make sure Joe right now, because somebody's gonna say something. Brother,
I'm not Googling a damn thing. I'm taking a call from Walgreens right now. Okay, you want to hear it? I'm taking a call.
But y'all go Google that and check it out, because the numbers Representative Lockett gave last night are so true, and it's the inflation. And understand this. There is a nonpartisan committee that controls the interest rate, the how things are. That's not Republican or Democrat. And we have to pay attention to the propaganda machine. Guess what? The propaganda machine, Malcolm X said it best, and I truly believe what Malcolm said. The propaganda machine will have you loving who you should hate, and have you hating who you should love. And right now, really, and last night there was an analytic point of view on a YouTube podcast that I watched that get really deep diving into politics, and I get a lot of my stuff from. They said one of the most beautiful things last night that I had to concur with 100%. They said the only reason a lot of folks, especially a lot of Black folks, are rocking with the RNC is because their evangelical stance on Christianity. They literally robbing your candy. The guy said it last night. They literally robbing your candy, raping your babies, and slapping you around. But they say we doing it in the name of Jesus. And they said, because you hear that, I'm in the name of Jesus. And they said they are so crazily twisted that Donald Trump holds the Bible upside down. He said, holding the Bible upside down is supposed to be, to the evangelical community, the warning side. If you stand up with a Bible upside down, and you don't correct that, that's like holding the flag upside down. That's like hoisting the flag upside down in the evangelical community.
Mhm.
If you hoist the flag upside down, that means, man, we in distress.
Yeah.
There's a problem here.
Mhm.
Holding the Holy Quran or holding the Holy Bible upside down is desecrating that book. You don't hold it upside down. That man held it upside down. Everybody acted like everything fine, everything fine. The guy said the propaganda machine has people literally blinded that right now they feel like an agent of Satan is the salvation of the world.
Yeah.
And I just was like, woo, that was deep, bro. That you said it like that. That was deep. And he was like, come on. He said, that's the reason. He said, that's the only reason. He said, did they sit up there and say this? He said, here's one thing. He said, it's one thing to say that I will show you the 10 commandments. It's another thing to follow the 10 commandments. And he said, you got to be careful. He said, he brought up my state, Louisiana. He said, so y'all gonna post. He said he gave statistics in Louisiana. He gave murder statistic, robbery statistic, government statistics with how people feel about truth and government. He said one of the most corrupt government systems in the United States of America on a state level is the state of Louisiana. And then he brought up, if you look at the quality of life issues, he said Louisiana is mostly in the bottom 3 in all categories. He said, but we're going to post up God's word and say, we need to post up God's word. He said, don't post it up. He said, tell people to follow it, starting in government.
Yeah. That's, Joe, that's so funny because I'm in the chat. And KC had made a comment back to, I presume, when I was saying about me fasting and how the first 3 hours is rough. And it's like, dang, the devil trying to come get me the first 3 hours and throw me off of my spiritual fast, right? So Eddie Bonnet, jumps in and says something. So I respond to KC, and I respond to Eddie Bonnet. So what you just said actually is what I was just talking to KC about. Because KC is super smart, right? She, she'll say she's not, but she's actually a really smart sister. And so I said to her, you are a brainiac. You know what you have to do to pass the test and course correct and change your trajectory. Remember, you believed and bad things happened, because KC said on the show before, when I believed, this happened to me, that happened to me, that happened to me, right? And so I said, you didn't believe and bad things happen, because now she doesn't believe, but bad things, still happen, which can happen to all of us. So I said, now it's time to believe and apply God's laws. That's when the shift will happen. You just need some sunshine. So not just the sunshine outside, but the Most High, the sunshine from Him. So that's what happens. We say we believe, but you know what? Like they always say, faith without works is dead. So we have to put in work as well, and then you'll still have a shift. But even believers, you still are going to face some trials. That's still part of the journey. So it's just funny because it mimics exactly what you just said, Joe. What up?
I'm not touching that. I touched that before.
Deep into that.
Like I said, I'll just leave that there, because it's nothing, because I me and you had a good conversation the other day. I explained to you, and I explained about how we can travel in the parallel and utilize these certain things. Matter of fact, I was mentioning to KC about the book, The Shack, and I read the book like 3 times, and I have 2 copies. I brought it out of New York, and they're here now, so I have them with me. I probably will read it again. So I'm just going to leave that there, because that was
go ahead.
I just wanted to go into the numbers. I wanted to go into the numbers because, like I said, again, world doesn't revolve around fatigue. What frustrates me is that we still have conversation on this slack ass. I don't give a damn about Donald Trump no more. What we need to do is to push our agenda. We need folks to understand. There was a piece on social media I shared with y'all 4:30 this morning, 5 o'clock, and it was Don Lemon talking to a brother, young brother, black guy, at like a food place, and he was like, "Why are you voting for Trump?" And he started to say, "Oh, the stimulus checks." And then Don Lemon schooled his ass. He said it wasn't Donald Trump on the stimulus checks; it was the Democratic Congress. So that's what I'm saying. You got to know what's happening. So when we don't put out the facts, then we continue to allow Donald Trump to suck the air out of the room. Again, the world don't revolve around me. You don't have to walk in my beat. But for me, it's about education. That's what I talked about in Harlem the other day. And everybody said on that panel, yes, we have to educate because you need to know a little bit more about politics. You need to know a little bit more about voting in your district, this, that, and other. So let's talk about Kamala Harris. Let's talk about plans because when it's time to compare, because when they say, what is Kamala Harris doing for Black people in America? Then we can say 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we say, what is Donald Trump pledging? Mm-hmm. What does he have out there? So let's go about this because this came up the other day. So this is what, these are key elements, key, not all, but key elements of the economic agenda of Kamala Harris. Housing. She aims to tackle the high cost of housing by proposing the construction of 3 million new homes, offering tax incentives to builders for starter homes, and reducing bureaucracy hurdles that delay construction. You know she can do it. You know why she can do it? And you know why Americans can do it? Mm-hmm. Same way I give Donald Trump, when you get one check, it's the same way he got around the bureaucracy in New York when he was building his buildings because he was funding a lot of this. And when you fund it, you run it your way. You cut these hurdles. You understand? But when you are not worrying about the rich, but you are worrying about everybody, but making sure everyone pays their fair share, and you concentrate on the middle and the lower class, not just the middle class. This is how you get things done. She also advocates for a $25,000 down payment assistance program for first-time home buyers. That goes a long way. Corporate accountability. She plans to crack down on corporate practices that she argues contribute to higher living costs, such as price gouging in food and groceries, where some people, economists says that's going to be a little tough. It's a lot of things that depend on that. She intends to enforce stricter regulations on large apartment owners using algorithms to raise rents and block large investors from buying homes just to rent them out.
Yes. Can you pause for 1 second on that one? I saw a post yesterday and it was so powerful because, you know, within the past couple of years, you had a lot of hedge fund people and corporate people saying, oh, no, you know, this is not the time to buy a house. Don't buy houses. It's better to rent and so on and so forth. But yet they flipped it once a lot of people started not buying houses and started becoming renters. They started with that whole corporate thing, buying up a lot of these properties because a lot of homes now, townhouses, apartment buildings are owned by corporations. It'll be a group of people come together, form a corporation and buy it and make the rent so high that the people in our communities cannot afford it. So that's really good that she's talking about doing that because we'll balance the playing field.
And then not only balance the playing field, it will kind of slow down gentrification.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, it will all do that. And healthcare costs. Well, we already see the Republicans pretty much exhaust their things dealing with affordable health care, also known as Obamacare. Kamala Harris is committed to further reducing prescription drug prices, building on Biden's administration's efforts. She supports capping insulin prices at $35 per month and placing a $2,000 yearly cap on out-of-pocket drug expenses for seniors. Child tax credit. He proposes expanding the child tax credit, significantly increasing for newborns and pushing for broader eligibility. Those are some of the things. And one of the things that I'm going to reach out to her folks is that we have to talk, because I came across another story about maternal health and how, you know, we still got to deal with maternal health for all women, but we also got to look at it, what's going on with Black women, especially with maternal health and maternal care and not getting the proper care, because there's a story out there and that I think I might have shared with y'all. I'm not sure if I did. And I want to share it with Dr. Chris Purnell and to talk about what's going on where a lot of women that are pregnant are not still getting the prenatal care. And that's so important to make sure you're getting the vitamins, making sure this baby comes out healthy and things like that. We have a lot of more challenges, health challenges, with babies are being born and moms are not getting the proper care. And there's effects from that. Newborn babies die, the mothers pass. So we have to do a better job. And these are the things. And then to listen last night of some of the things and the issues that just mentioned, but was talked about, is issues that are dealing with all Americans. When you hear them talking about people working in fast food, in hotels, do you understand? You didn't hear that on RNC. And that's what I'm saying, that we have a responsibility to not let Donald Trump suck the air out of it. We know what he is. We know what he brings. Just for me, and that's why I get quiet, because I don't want to hear that too much no more. Let's go out there and talk about what we need to do, what she proposes, break down Project 2025.
Yeah, they broke it down.
And push that and push it and push it and push it. And each night they're going to bring something dealing with Project 2025 at the DNC. They did it last night, and the female senator, spoke about that, what they're going to be talking about tonight with Project 2025.
You know, family, we just gotta, get engaged, get involved, get registered, and go vote. Once again, and I'm going to say this, Brother Fatim, with you having such a good relationship with Senator Warnock, man, get him on here. We need him for just 5-10 minutes just to let folks know, hey, man, y'all don't know how desperate of times it is for us to get the right president in for the next 4 years. I'm working on getting folks that I know that have, I'm getting ready to talk. I'm reaching out today. I've got some training to do. And hopefully while I'm doing my training and headed to the capital city, I'll get to see Gary Chambers. I'm trying to get Gary on here to talk about the importance, especially here in this state, to say, listen, we need you on. I need you on for about 10-15 minutes just to talk to the people and say, hey, this is serious. Because when we get those voices that are trusted voices in our community, folks then say, hey, not only are they bringing the right folks in, which we bring a lot of folks like today, once again, coming up at the top of the hour, coming up in a few minutes, going to be the doctor. And we're going to get into some great conversation about your health, because your health is your wealth. And family, we've got to give good information to our people that they can be better today than they were yesterday across the board. And I just don't say that just as a cliche-ish thing to say. It's really what we need to do. We need to be concerned about us and make sure that we're better. We're better today, that we give you good, wholesome information, that even if you don't like the information, you can go Google it and say, well, it is the truth. Maybe I need to make an adjustment, a course change to make my life and the life of not only my family, but my future generations better. It ain't just about you and yours. It's about everything that's going to come after you when you gone and nothing but a memory. Come on, family.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? Talking about change, how is everybody in the chat doing with their water? We talked about trying to drink a bottle or two of water per show, and then obviously throughout the day. So y'all have your water bottles. Let me see. Who has a water? Type in the chat water or put a water sprinkle or something. Yes, yeah. And my water bottle today, I just put a little, I get these packets from like the Asian food store. Or sometimes the African food store. It's ginger honey crystals. Yep, and it comes in a bunch of different.
Honey, okay.
And it comes in a bunch of different flavors. Sometimes I use the turmeric one. There's a mint one, a ginger mint. So it's a lot of different flavors. So from time to time, I put it in my water, especially in the wintertime. I make tea out of it. My husband doesn't like it when it's cold. I don't mind it. But in the wintertime, do it for your tea.
I got turmeric in here, but it's amazing. I have ginger separate, lemon ginger. Then I have peppermint. Then I have turmeric, but the turmeric is turmeric, peppermint, turmeric, ginger. It depends on what pack, because it's a multiple pack. You understand? I ran out of my Lipton, the black tea. I ran out of that.
But that's good. So where do you get your package from, Fatim? It's the crystals? You have the
No. I know, but my friend was telling me last week he wants me to get the natural turmeric. I mean, I'm not. See, I don't want to say I'm not going to do these things, but she cuts the turmeric. I can do that, but she said I can get the powder too. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem. I think there's something else. Oh, what is it? Oh man, it's green. It's green. And it's something that we should be drinking a lot, drinking.
Okay.
I'm a ginseng?
No.
Like a powdery stuff?
It's a powdery and a lot of health feel. I'll get it in a minute. I remember the late Montu Law. Montu Law was the wife. She
Mhm.
the wife of legendary talk show host Bob Law here in New York, and they had a health food store at Sister Montu, Spirulina. That's what it is,
Oh yeah, yeah,
Spirulina,
yep, yep,
Spirulina. And
yeah.
when I took Hanifa there, and Montu, such a pretty sister, she grabbed Hanifa by the arm. She said, "I'm taking her away from you, Fatine. I'm taking her," and she went around the store and she started pulling things off the shelf. She said, so when I came to pay, she was like, "Nah, this is on us. This is on us because your queen needs to get herself together." And Queen Afua also vouches for
Wow.
Spirulina, you know. So these are the things that, again, a lot of people ask me, how do you know all these things? Because I take the time.
That's
It's not
right.
hard to incorporate these things in the day. It's like when you get up that day, when I walk, I stopped in stores. I did this.
Yep.
I knew people. I did radio, but even before radio, I've come out of the culture community. So when you come out of the culture community, you're dealing with more holistic people that
That's
deals
right.
with herbs, this, that, and the other, who's reading books, who are the professors and stuff like that. So that's important. But Jax, you want before the dot come on, you mentioned a
Oh,
book you wanted to mention.
Yeah,
Brother
it's
Fatine.
interesting. I don't know how I heard this book, but it was in my shopping cart. I went to order something on Amazon for my son the other day, and this book was in my shopping cart. It must have been sitting there forever. So I said, let me go ahead and order it. So it's called The Jew, a Negro. And I started reading it last night, and it's actually quite fascinating. So it's a big book, but it's fairly thin, but it's actually pretty interesting. The Jew, a Negro by this guy. Or y'all probably really can't see it. Oh no, it's up here. His whole name. But yeah, so it's interesting. But like you said, Fatine, we just always got to read. We have to read. We have to open our hearts and our minds to new information and just see what people are talking about.
Did you see what I sent y'all real quick? That Price Jr., Pastor Price Jr. I used to watch Price in the morning before I had a baseball game, and me and my father, and or we were going to do his super job duties, and we used to watch Price Jr. And I sent y'all that.
Okay.
He talked about the Black Hebrews. He talked about Hebrew Israelites, and he said, "Oh, they were right. They were right." He said they were right. And he was talking about when he talked about who was the real Jew. He said that. And see, when you get Christian preachers talking the truth, you'll start to see you can remove the titles and they're saying the same thing.
Yeah. It's funny. My mom always said that my grandfather was a preacher, and my mom always said my grandfather used to always, a Christian preacher would say, if I were any other religion, I would be, I would be a Jew, or whatever religion or faith or whatever. He would be a Jew. And then growing up, my mom always called me a Black Jew because I'm very thrifty. I like nice things, but I like to save money, and I'm a penny pinch. If I'm somewhere buying something, I'm the sister that's gonna be like, no, I know you can give it to me for this amount, and back and forth. So I like to save money, and I like to reinvest that money. So she always called me a Black Jew. But yeah, no, it's interesting, and I'm realizing more and more that the Hebrew Israelites or Israelites, they're on point. They're on point.
They're on point. But I was listening to what you sent the other day, and again, I've been around some that breaks it down. What you sent the other day was good, but I got stuff that goes deeper. That's why I say I go deeper into the words. I just don't read the Bible and start to interpret it. We got to break down these words. You got to break down the meaning, the etymology, and all those kind of things. And that's the kind of studying I come from. I didn't know Joe wanted me to respond to Eddie Bonnet's comment. I don't know. I saw you say,
I'm gonna put it up there and let you read it.
All right. So, question for Teen: if in this election, Vice President Harris can get elected without a specific Black agenda, do you think that will set a dangerous precedent going forward that no Democratic politician has to give Black people anything because they will still vote Democratic? I think I don't think it's. For instance, I have to see what her plan is, her total plan. Remember, she just talked about an economic plan. I don't think she is fool enough to say that she has an agenda for Black folks. If President Biden, before he became president, had a plan for Black Americans, and her being a Black woman, and she's rolling the dice because Democrats vote Democratic more that way. We're also losing more blacks now. We're losing more blacks from the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party has not done enough or given out these promises and have fallen short on those promises. So I think that it needs to be done, just like there's been certain other communities that have wanted certain things and they've done those things. You don't treat the black community no different at all. So no, there needs to be. She's not going to. I don't think she's gonna go out there and not have a black agenda.
You know what? Black folks can't even get their own black agenda together. Not even in their household. They can't. It's so unfortunate. We can't even get an agenda together for our own little black house. So we can't expect one person to put together a whole agenda for the whole nation of black folks.
And that's the point I've been making. Once again, we demand of her what we demand not of ourselves.
Yeah.
Some of us don't even have an agenda to get our house together, our community together, our town together. All we do is ride the petticoats of other folks who really, here's what they've done. Mr. Charlie and Mr. Charlie's people gave you a good job, so you go ride Mr. Charlie's agenda. So with that being said, it's about that time. 5 minutes past the hour. I see him in the green room. He's kind of doing some things. I'm not going to bring him on, but Doc is in the building. And we've got some questions for Doc today because, Doc went out and he might come back. But Doc Griggs is in the building and he's going to be coming on. We're going to talk to him about fasting and some other stuff. And Doc seems to be getting his stuff together. So I'm going to let Doc get himself together in the green room. But we got to get you got to stop demanding on folk what you don't demand on yourself. I sit there and am so amazed. It's just like a few days ago, we had this conversation. As a man, if you're dating a woman and you've never taken yourself out the roof, Chris, if you're the type man that says she got to take me out, then wait a minute. If you've never taken yourself out to an expensive, high-class restaurant, don't demand her to take you out to an expensive, high-class restaurant or vice versa. Women, if you've never went to a high-class, then all of a sudden you dating a guy and you go, oh, you got to take me here. Have you taken yourself there?
That's right.
Have you taken yourself there? Because you got to stop demanding of folks to take you places that you haven't taken yourself. And yes, I believe 100. Listen, brother Eddie Barnett, I don't care how you ask it, where you ask it, when you ask it. Joe Dupree Anderson, I believe in reparations. I believe that after everyone who has been by the system said we did y'all wrong, got reparations, but we as African Americans, as descendants of slaves here in this country, we ain't got no reparations. Come on, man. Yes, I believe in some form of reparations, and I ain't talking no stimulus check.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not Unfortunately, some of you felt like the stimulus check was reparations. That's why a lot of you right now talking about, man, I love me some Donald Trump. You see that stimulus check he gave us? That ain't reparations, baby. He didn't give it to you.
That's right. And Joe, the other question we have to ask everybody, a lot of people are wanting to jump up and get married, right? Or be in a relationship. But you got to ask yourself, would you marry you? Right? You demand and expect all this stuff from a man or from a woman, but would you marry you? Because if you're a hot mess and wouldn't even marry somebody like you need to really reconsider your values, your norms, how you're going to move, and get things together, get yourself together bit by bit so that you don't jump into a relationship and bring all that baggage and all that trauma and put it on somebody else's lap and expect for them to decipher it and sift through it for you. You have to do the work yourself to get started, and then let the Most High bring whoever he brings, your way. But we got to work on ourselves first and foremost.
So
go ahead, brother.
Yeah, that. I don't know. Well, I'll just say this because I don't know. I don't want to make a false statement against a company I work for, but I heard dealing with JP Morgan Chase. Remember, it was Chase before. I worked the first time for Chase. Then I worked for JP Morgan where they were separate. Then they had the merger. But I'll thank Jamie Dimon. I got reparations from JP Morgan Chase. I really got reparations from there. They might have not called it reparations, but I received reparations. And what happened is there was a merger of, I believe it was Bank One and Chase First. And what happens is when we did that, JP Morgan was also part of it. When Bank One came in, they outsourced the computer department to IBM. So now I'm working for the company, but they outsourced me to IBM. Then when they did that, then when JP Morgan comes on board, then you know what they do? They don't know what they're going to do with the computer department. So I sat at home for 3 months, got paid. I mean, I had my ID. I walked in the building, walked in the data center because I still was an employee, but I wasn't allowed to work.
Wow.
Couldn't call me at home. I sat on my butt for 3 months. It got so close to the summer that I was like, I'm trying to get out, one more month. And then Jamie Dimon said, oh no, I don't have no outsourcing here. When he became the head of everything, he brought us back in. I got a severance deal eventually, not because of that, because we moved 30 plus miles away from my home. And I was able to take that deal. But for 3 months, I got paid from JP Morgan Chase, not to work remotely, because this is way before COVID. I got paid by JP Morgan Chase, a white company, to sit home as a black man. Do nothing. I got my reparations from JP Morgan Chase. I got a little
all
piece
praises.
of it.
Yep. All praises. What up, Doc? You on mute?
Good morning. Am I mute?
No, Joe
No,
is.
Doc,
Joe.
no.
Joe
is mute. What's up, Doc?
Well, wait a minute. What up, Doc? It's time to get checked, get fit, and get moving. Doc Griggs
Get
in the
moving.
building. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
What up, Doc?
What's happening?
So look, we had a conversation at the beginning of the show, so we're gonna take you down a rabbit hole, Doc. Not to be cliche-ish or
No
funny.
pun intended.
No pun intended. We about to take you down a rabbit hole, Doc.
Okay.
Talk to us about fasting and the benefits of fasting. Sister Jackson started a fast, and she does intermediate fasting. So let's talk about fasting from the doctor's point of view. And tell us the pros and the cons, and let's get into a conversation about fasting. Let go.
So intermittent fasting is one of the few things that has been consistently shown to work. The body is made to fast. We're not meant to eat all of the time, even though our marketing these days would tell us otherwise. You can eat while you're watching TV. You can eat while you're driving. Eat while you're watching. You can eat while you're eating. You eat your dessert first, and then get to your meal. We don't move enough for that. We have basic basal metabolic rates and energy requirements based on our movement, our energy expenditure. So fasting, breakfast is called fasting because you're breaking a fast. Ideally 7 to 9 hours of a fast. But most people don't get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. It does give you a chance. It gives your body a chance to regroup, to thoroughly digest and absorb what needs to be absorbed and get rid of what needs to be get rid of. It's something that's been used for centuries, not necessarily for weight loss, just for survival, because a lot of times there was no guarantee that the harvest was going to come through, or you'd find something to pick, or if you ate meat that you would be able to catch an animal. So it's a very natural thing. You don't want to go to the extremes. Intermittent fasting has been shown time and time again to work with people that are trying to control their diet, regulate their insulin levels, and regulate their ghrelin, their satiety, and their hunger centers. So I'm a big proponent of intermittent fasting. I do advise that if you're going to do any type of fasting or diet modification, that you do it under the supervision and in conjunction with your team, your doctor, your nutritionist, your dietitian. That's my story. Stick to it.
Awesome. Yeah, Doc Griggs. So I fast. My husband and I fast at least once a month. But now we're both going to kick it up. So I want to try to fast at least once a week. So maybe I'm going to start fasting every Wednesday to Thursday, or at least every other Wednesday to Thursday. But I definitely want to fast more, not only for health, but for spiritual reasons. And it definitely does cause so much clarity. And you feel actually really strong by the time the fast is over. And you're not as ravenous as you would think you are. Some people think you'll be totally ravenous by the time it's time to eat. But literally after my fast was over, I just had a few snacks, some carrots and, grapefruit and stuff like that. And then I was completely full, so yeah. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's not as bad as what people think.
Well, that's the other component that a lot of people attach to it is it's an opportunity for mindfulness, to reflect. I like gratitude affirmations, just being thankful for everything it is. I'm thankful for the fact that we're able to talk on a computer and have this show. Thankful I'm in an air-conditioned environment. I was in France for that month, and they did not have air conditioning. I was dreaming of air conditioning.
Air is not big. Air is not big in Europe. That's something because it stays cool in Europe quite a bit. Summer is a short time.
Yeah, it does. And like in London, the weather changes on a dime. But they also, I was told that they think that air conditioning is weakness. That you should be able to live in nature. You should be able to do it with the doors and the windows and dodging the mosquitoes or whatever. But fasting in and of itself, I mean, you got weight loss, you got heart benefits, you have better sugar control, reduced overall inflammation in the body, that clarity that you talk about, the improved brain function, the repairing cellular repair, because you're not adding anything to it to break things up. It gives your body time to heal.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. And speaking of healing, I do have a quick question, Doc Briggs. If we could go into a little bit about kidney disease. We know kidney disease really plagues a lot of our people of color. A lot of us end up being on dialysis. And you're stage 3, Joe?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Yep. So if you could talk about it and how, like, are there things that we can do now so that we don't end up in renal failure at some point, or tell us?
Yeah, the biggest thing there's like chronic kidney disease is one of the few things there's no real cure for. Once you're diagnosed with certain stages, you can stay in that stage and be functional and happy, but you have to do things to protect your kidney. It's a really small, the functional portion of the kidney is really small. It's like a filter. And when we eat too much sugar, when we have protein, excess protein in our urine, we punch holes. If you can imagine water pouring through a net that's filtering, right? And if you punch a hole in the net like a screen, we've all had it bad little kids. I would stick the pencil through the screen to make it bigger or whatever. Yeah. Well, that hole never gets repaired. That hole's still there. Now it's still functional, but you got to watch it. You got to be careful of things spilling out. You're not supposed to spill any sugar in your urine. That lets you know that your diabetes is way out of control. The body absorbs all that energy it possibly can from sugar. A lot of times, again, if you can imagine protein punching holes in the filter, that can allow other things to spill out. What can we do? We can watch what we eat. We can make sure we drink. We can minimize at all costs first of all, don't smoke, first of all, and then minimize alcohol use. Alcohol can damage your kidneys. Pay attention to the drugs that you use. It's something that you really, again, it's one of those things called talking to your doctor about how are these medications going to affect my kidneys. A lot of people overdo certain pain medications, and it can cause kidney failure if you take too many of them, acetaminophen being one of them. So you just want to be, it's really, the healthier you eat, the more water you drink, the more you maintain your weight loss, using intermittent fasting, finding something you like to do and doing it, but eating unprocessed foods, and exercising is the best way to protect our kidneys.
Yes,
and,
wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, and great news, Doc. And Doc, I'm going to reach out to your assistant because we talked about, sickle cell, and September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. And as I was listening, and I want to wait for September to really dive into sickle cell disease, really. But I just noticed that, how my late wife was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver, and not just a drinker, but the type of medications that she had to be filtered, not only through the kidneys, but the liver. And, exactly. So we'll go there, but I've been transparent on this show a lot. So let's go to work right now, Doc. I'm going to be transparent. I went to the doctor Saturday. Got my results. I already knew because like I said last week, I check my blood sugar daily. I don't wait for the A1C. I already knew that my blood sugar waking up was running a little bit higher. It was running higher because of eating later, not the greatest diet at the particular time. Also, I have hypertension. Hypertension, when I got there, which I checked on a daily basis, it's controlled. But when I got there, it was 130/70. My weight from last year was 244 at that, last year. It is down to 228 now.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So, but now I still want to, now when I decide to go to work out, I don't have to worry about trying to lose 40 and 50 pounds. Now I can go and do the cardio. I can do this to tone. I would like to build a little bit more muscle mass. I wouldn't mind putting on a little bit more weight because my arms and my legs, I always had you know, because I was a baseball player, so I was more of a tone than a
Yeah.
bulk, you know. Let's go over some
Yeah.
of these numbers real quick, and we don't have to stay on them, really, just real quick. So in the CBC, and let me see, this one is, we'll just go back to, let's start here. The CBC with the platelet. So the WBC is 4.7. So that's
White
in the
blood cells.
proper, yeah, that's the, well, yeah, I'm sorry, y'all, that's the white blood count.
CBC is your complete blood count. Your white blood
Exactly.
cells are the blood cells that fight the infections.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
Break it
That's
down to
it.
us as if we're 2-year-olds.
Yeah. My RBC is right in the range. It's supposed to be between 4.4 and 6.1 and 6.1.
Yeah, that's the number of red blood cells. The red blood cells carry oxygen in the blood and help move things around. We need those. Keep going.
Exactly. And that's where I always had to keep this number, hemoglobin. The hemoglobin, which my wife average was an 8.1 because she was anemic because of the sickle cell. Mine is at a 15. So I'm in that range of between 13 and 18.
Which is actually absolutely normal for men. Hemoglobin is the actual part of the blood cell. It's a protein that carries the actual oxygen, and that gives you an idea of how well oxygenated your blood is. And it tends to be, there's a higher number in men than in women.
That's correct. And then my hematocrit.
Oh, I'm sorry, hematocrit is higher in men.
Hematocrit is 46.4, which is also in the range of 39, 50, 52. So I'm not going to go through anything else unless you wanted to get it. Then it has a comprehensive.
Hematocrit is the percentage of blood cells that are red blood cells. Hematocrit, that's what it is.
Exactly, because when my wife had to get, when we wanted to know how many percentage of sickle cells in her body, we had to do what is called electrophoresis test.
Oh, yeah.
At particular time.
Electrophoresis, what it is that they take an electronic microscope and they spread it out and they look to see which ones are round, the shape of them, and with sickle cell, you see some of them that actually take the shape of
like a C, the half moon.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
the half moon.
So, and now this is where we know the glucose is supposed to be between 70 and 100. Mine's high, which I know, 175. My sodium is in the range 137.
Now, let me ask you this: was that fasting though? No. So you're actually within the 70 to 100 in a fasting range. When you're not fasting, your blood sugar is going to be higher. That's anybody.
Right.
I just
did it give you a range
fasting. I didn't eat anything
What's your A1C?
that night.
What's your A1C?
Oh, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I just want to go through this for the folks out there.
Gotcha.
Know, like Joe said, take your doctor. I want people to realize that you can go to the doctor, you can get these things on your My Chart and come right to your phone. My sodium is in range 137, and my potassium is at 4.5, which is between 3.5 and 5.4 is the range there. My I call it creatinine, but how was the proper
Creatinine.
Creatinine.
Yes. It's now this deals with your liver, right?
No,
kidneys.
That's kidneys. Creatinine is kidneys.
That's what I meant to say.
You want the higher numbers, the better. Like the things are flowing.
Right. So I'm at a 1.13. So it's between 0.67 and 1.3. So I'm in that. I'm in that range. I'll come out of that now. Going to the hemoglobin A1C, which is high, which I knew it was 8.9 last time. It's a 9 now. So that's where I do know that I have to, we work on. Now, this is interesting. My cholesterol was high last time. It's still high. It's 217. The range is from 100 to 199. But when I go to the trend, the last time I was there, it was 238. Now it's 217. So it's on the decline.
That's good.
That's on the decline.
Good. If you can stop eating 3 hours before you go to bed, it should go down even more.
Good.
The lower the creatinine number is, the better. I said that. I misspoke.
Right.
Yeah.
And for us men, the prostate, my PSA is supposed to be between a 0 and a 4. Mine is 0.364. And I don't know if you can see. You probably can't see that. No, you can't.
No, can't
I'm consistent from 2016 to 2024. Like that line is there.
that's something that I was going to bring up. So though they give you the range on that, when you're reading that 0 to 4 and it's in that, that's wonderful and great. But if you all of a sudden go to the doctor and your PSA is 1, when you've been at 0.37, that's a sign that something might be going on. You need to get it checked out. So you want to. I'm glad you brought up looking at the trends. You want to look at trends, but you want to look at differences. And the sooner you're able to get on top of them, the better your outcome will be. And hopefully it'll be something benign like a prostatitis and inflamed prostate. The PSA measures, basically it measures the protein, the amount of prostate that you have. That's the simplest way to think of it. The PSA, the higher your number, the more tissue, the more prostate tissue, which means it could be inflamed for any number of reasons. It could be inflammation, it could be a tumor. But it's worth getting checked out. So you definitely want to look at the trends and discuss the trends with your doctor.
Okay, I that's enough. I don't need to go through too much more there, but I'm just telling, to give an example of this being a little transparent here and knowing what I need to do to correct some of these things. And there's a couple of things, of follow-ups that I have to do with colonoscopy and all that kind of good stuff. But I just want to put that out there for the folks today with the doc.
So I want to do this right quick. Since we got Doc on here every Tuesday, and we're so thankful to have him for the time we do have him on Tuesday, to our listeners who are listening, who may want to call in, the phone lines are wide open, 225-250-8770. You can call in with a question for Doc, and Doc can answer that question. Or if you're in the chat and you want to put in a question for Doc, maybe there's something you want to ask your doctor, and you say, Doc, I really don't know how to ask my doctor this. This is your time with the doc that you can get with Doc and say, Doc, I need your advice as I go to my physician, that maybe you can give me a little strategy on how to talk about this or talk about that. So you can put it in the chat, or you can give us a call. The phone lines are wide open, 225-250-8770. Welcome to Hashtag Truth Be Told. We are broadcasting live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. And we got the doc in the building. What's up,
I have
Doc?
a question. I have a question for the doc.
So the one thing I want to put a disclaimer out that this is not medical advice. This is educational purposes only, and for you to talk to your doctor about any health conditions that you might have. We can discuss it, and I can educate you, but you need to talk to your doctor.
That's
right.
So
that part.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about neuropathy. We see more, especially African Americans, not only adults, we certainly see it in the young with diabetes. Diabetic 1, diabetic 2, and neuropathy. Can you explain what neuropathy is and where people feel it? I mean, I do know, but I want you to go into it. You're the doctor.
So the root of the word, let's start with the word and word identification. Neuro means anything with your nerves. Pathy, P-A-T-H, that's pathology. That means disease. Neuropathy is a manifestation. It's the disease of the nerves. We use the term peripheral neuropathy when we're talking about our periphery, the things that are on the outside of us. Periphery, like your toes, your fingers, any of the appendages, fingers, toes, and any appendages that you might have. The tip of your nose is an appendage. What happens is as the blood vessels get smaller coming from the heart, the blood vessels get smaller and smaller and smaller all the way out to the tips of our fingers and toes and our nose. And along with those blood vessels, follow the nerves. It's a V-A-N, vein, artery, nerve. They usually track and go together. As these blood vessels, as we don't take care of our hypertension, as we don't take care of our diabetes, the sugar molecules, they damage the blood vessels and in turn damage those nerves at the tips on the periphery. So we're not able to feel. And that's the extreme neuropathy, is when you lose its numbness. You'll get a tingling feeling, numbness and tingling. What it also can be a sign of peripheral vascular disease, because what happens is you're not getting enough oxygen to the tissues because the blood vessels and nerves are damaged. So you end up with peripheral neuropathy, which can somewhat resolve, and sometimes it's a chronic condition that it depends on how severe it is. But as people tend to take control of their diabetes and get their sugars under control, there are certain instances where you can resolve some of it. That's why it's important that people with diabetes get someone else to cut their toenails. Because what happens is if you're cutting your own toenail and you don't feel anything, you might injure yourself and you'll cause a sore or a wound that, because it's in the moisture of your socks in your feet, it can get infected and not heal. And that's how you can possibly end up with leg or limb amputation. So neuropathy is something that we should pay very attention to. The numbness and tingling, like we all experience a neuropathy. We've all experienced it. We've all experienced it. We've been watching laying down on the desk or watching TV and cut off the blood supply where our arm falls asleep. When we say our arm falls asleep, that numbness and tingling, that's what people feel with neuropathy. When the blood and oxygen starts coming back to the tissue, but they don't have a mechanism necessarily to resupply it.
Wow.
And
Does that make sense?
and
Is that
Doc,
good?
yeah, it did. And Doc, I want to talk about one thing that most people with diabetes don't pay attention to the most. It's called diabetic retinopathy, where you
So
feel that funny sensation in your eye, feel like a little pressure. Sometimes it's like a little pressure. A lot of folks don't know that's a sign there too. That I know you're not an ophthalmologist, but diabetic retinopathy is big with folks with diabetes and
Can
the
lead to blindness.
losing feeling in your fingers and in your toes. That's also a big sign that you need to really, especially if you haven't been diagnosed a diabetic. You know, a lot of people are out there going, why do I got this funny feeling with my eyes or my fingers or my toes, and they haven't even been diagnosed with diabetes? That is a big sign. Talk to me, doctor.
yeah, so one of the things you want to talk about, we were talking about, it all goes back to the same. Can you hear me? Hello, hello.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it goes back to the same principle, right? The blood vessels in the eyes are small, 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 small. And if you're experiencing neuropathy, you definitely want to go to. Now, my grandfather and my father were eye doctors. They're optometrists. Like I said, I just found that out a couple years ago. I'm a third generation doctor. It's kind of dope.
Wow.
My grandfather was the first Black optometrist in the city.
Oh, he left. Now he's back. You're back,
Yeah.
Doc.
Yep.
Yeah, he was the first inductee into the Optometry Hall of Fame, and he co-founded the National Optometry Association 50 years ago. So I don't know why I have a thing for eyes. I never knew I had a thing for eyes, but I have a thing for eyes. Retinopathy, what you want to look for is you'll ask when someone that's newly diabetic or that has a history of it, you ask, do you have any changes in your vision? Do you have any blurred vision? The same thing happens in the eye that happens in those peripheral organs, peripheral tissues, right? If you don't control your blood pressure, the blood vessels are really, really small and they're fragile. So they'll pop and you can get changes. You can get popped. The blood vessels get hemorrhage, micro hemorrhages, decreased function, changes in your vision. The same thing with unregulated glucose, diabetes. The glucose that can damage the blood vessels in the eye and cause diabetic retinopathy. So again, if you are concerned about diabetes, you want to make sure that you get your primary care doctor involved, of course, but you want to get an ophthalmologist, an optometrist, a nephrologist to protect your kidneys. Think about it. You're protecting the small vessels, and that's what you want to do. And that's why it's important for us to watch what we eat and exercise to protect our blood pressure and to protect our blood sugars.
Amen. So I'm asking for a friend, Doc. So how do you know if your changes in your vision is due to a potentially diabetic or pre-diabetic issue versus you're just getting older, you can't really see so good anymore?
So, and that's the beauty of going to your optometrist or your ophthalmologist. They can tell you more. They go in and they go see. They see. And then you correlate it with other symptoms and you correlate it with your blood work. And if you do a history, you can, what's funny is the first day of med school, they taught us 100% of the time, the patient will tell you the problem. And 80% of the time, if you listen long enough, remember I said the sender message receiver equation? Yep. If we listen long enough, not only will you tell me what your problem is, you'll tell me the solution. Well, my eyes changed when I got my new job. Like, what do you mean? I keep my eyes open all the time and my eyes are dry and I don't use drops and blah, 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 blah. Well, when did that start? About 6 months ago. Well, how long have your eyes been bothering you? About 5.5 months. Oh, I think we have an issue here.
No.
So I would send you to an ophthalmologist or an optometrist, and then they would do a detailed exam, get you the proper drops. Of course, at your doctor, they would draw blood work if you're concerned about diabetes. It's a conversation to have with your team as the MVP of your team.
Absolutely.
So,
And
I agree.
So
Doc, before she goes on, we have a question from Miss Darlene Bryant. She has a question for Dr. Griggs. She says, why do I have cramps in my legs? So maybe, Miss Darlene, you might want to call in on the number and give us a little more specifics, but we're just going to say just normal leg cramping. Talk to me, Doc.
So normal leg cramping that can happen for a number of reasons. As benign as not drinking enough water, as it could be more serious, like peripheral vascular disease. It could be due to a nutritional deficiency. It's something to explore and more talk about with your doctor. In peripheral vascular disease, they have a condition called claudication, Caudication, claudication, meaning your legs cramping at night. It could be due to a number of things. It could be due to medications that you're taking. It could be due to excess exercise. And that's just the beginning. I need to take a quick break.
Yeah,
2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds.
Go ahead. All right. So we got Doc on here, y'all. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We got the Doc in the building. He'll be back in a minute. And you can call in with your questions and expound on it, because once again, when we read it from the chat is normally just that. You know, we're going to say, look, this is your question, but you can expound on it by giving us a call at 225-250-8770. Welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. Yours truly, Joe Dupree, in the building. 100 BLK. Jax, the life strategist, the art therapist, the speaker to Arthur, our brother from another mother, from the open line, online, and keeping it real with Reverend Al Sharpton, 107.5 New York City. It's Brother Fatim, and we're broadcasting live on Facebook Live. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this with a friend. We're on YouTube. Tell a friend, share this with a friend, and we're on Instagram. We in the building, and every Tuesday is What's Up, Doc. And tomorrow we got a little reading, because reading is fundamental. And many a times, you know, I give Brother Fatim all the props in the world. When you go to New York City, that man got a library in his house. A library in his house. He ain't got to go to NYC Library. He got a library in his house. That brother got books on. He got books on top of books on top of books on top of books. And I recommend that you go get you some good reading. Like,
I don't have a sex book, Joe.
You don't.
He got a ton of books and he got no sense. Crazy
wait
as hell.
a minute, bro. Hold it. You mean you ain't got one book on Kama Sutra or anything? Come on.
I'm lying. I got a whole bunch of books on Kama Sutra.
Wait 1 minute. Hold up. Doc Griggs is back. He's doing some adjustment, but the
I want Doc to hear that about my Kama Sutra books now.
You said you got a lot of them. He said he got a lot of them. That's what he said.
Doc Griggs, he's the
Deal with the nerve endings, Doc. And I ain't talking about the fingers and the toes. Okay.
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
That's right. Shame the devil, baby. You understand? We know where your head is at, Mr. Honey Badger. Mr. Honey Badger with the honey packs. We know where you at. So look, Doc.
Real quick, I don't want to freak people out about the leg cramps. Sometimes they're called. You can have idiopathic cramps. Cramps can be caused by random reasons. Like I said, muscle fatigue, dehydration, nutrition, medications, the whole nine. But you need to talk to your doctor about it, because a lot of times they just happen. I'm sure I'm not the only one that have gotten up in the middle, jumping up on the bed, doing the prayer dance.
Or other reasons why you catch a cramp in the back of that thigh.
They got a honey badger again. They got the honey badger. The fingers and toes.
The fingers and toes, baby. But also, Doc,
it's like an over-sexualized 13-year-old.
Yeah, I tell you. But also now, since she mentioned leg cramps, and I understand that, there's something that I noticed, you know, and I don't want to contribute everything to being an athlete, but I have to, you know, when you play ball, you know, play softball on these, you know, we played on hard top, you know, black top, which was concrete, and we played on grass as well. But I played into my 50s, you know, and caught. But I noticed, like, when I'm driving, my knees ache, my hips ache. So I know I was talking to the doctor, so I got to put in my mind chart, because I need to have a discussion, because I need to go ahead and do a bone scan just to see. But I do see this when you go to the like Walgreens and look in the pharmacy, not prescription, but in the pharmacy area. They talk about tired legs or whatever, and that's a feeling that I get, like when I'm sleeping in the bed sometimes. I get restless. My knees are aching. Do you have I mean, that could be a sign of arthritis. You know, it's not shooting pain. It's not shooting pain. It's just annoying type. Not annoying, but gnawing. Like it's something just going at it.
Well, it is something that, again, you should talk to your doctor about if it really is annoying. I mean, it could be age. It could be arthritis. If you play sports on hard top for a long period of time, you could have caused the chronic inflammation of the joints over time. It's something to talk to your doctor about. The other thing is, what's interesting is there was a study that came out last week. I just did a TV segment on it about aging. Contrary to popular belief, and we thought the aging process is not linear and it's not as progressive as we think. Apparently, there's a group out of Stanford that studied 108 people between the ages of 25 and 75. And what they noticed is that around age 44 and age 60, there are drastic changes in our metabolism. They found 35,000 things that changed, but most of note were when in our mid 40s, it seems that there's a change in the way that we process lipids, or like the cholesterol, like you were talking about, and the way that we process the fats in our bodies. Now, we need cholesterol for cells, and we need it for a lot of things, our immune system, the whole nine. But the way that we process doesn't mean that we process slower, it's processed different. And then at about age 60, they noticed that there was a change in the way that we process caffeine. Carbohydrates, which is one of our main sources of energy. So people talk about feeling different in their mid 40s and in their 60s. Now, if you have issues or pathologies with cholesterol, pathologies with like diabetes or processing carbohydrates, it's something to start talking to your doctor about now. These are just observational studies. They noticed there was also a difference in the way, as we age, the way that we process alcohol and the way that we process caffeine. As we get older, we tend to get more sensitive to caffeine, and alcohol has a longer lingering effect. We don't know whether or not in the study people were drinking more in their 40s and they felt it more, but the way that it was processed is different around those age bumps. So there's going to be a lot more work done, but there is something to say about aging, and the more that we know, the more that we can prevent possibly some of the maladies that are associated with getting older. Because our basal metabolic rates, they notice, like the basic way that we process everything is consistent from about age 20 to 60, the rate itself. It's just that we metabolize certain things differently along that path.
Great. Now, what is HDL cholesterol? Because I know it's like different types of it. So if you could just explain what HDL
is.
Yeah,
it's if you can imagine your cholesterol, I say HDL, and when I say HDL, that's a good cholesterol. And I always make this because you can raise your HDL by exercise. That's a good thing. The higher your HDL, above 90, it's cardioprotective. High HDL can be cardioprotective, meaning that it can eliminate one of your cardiovascular risk factors. LDL, I like to think of it as lazy. It's not dense, it's kind of loose. Compared to the high density, it's loose, and that's the bad cholesterol. And then there's VLDL. That's very low density. I call them very lazy. You got the very lazy. You got the lazy because all they do is just sit around in your blood vessels and clog things up. You just mess everything up. And then you got the high power, high density, like going through just cleaning up stuff. That's the way I like to think of it. You want your HDL to be high, and you want to have little low density or lazy cholesterol and very little, very lazy cholesterol, VLDL. That make sense?
That was interesting because it's funny. I have to go to the doctor today. My blood work literally just popped up on my phone, and it has my HDL at 82. But then it has my VDL at 9 and my LDL is 84. So I guess that's pretty bad, the LDL.
Yeah, so you want to watch your cholesterol. And again, what happens is I mentioned trying not to eat 3 hours before you go to bed. It's like, I like to put in terms of, and y'all understand my analogy. You remember the cartoon where they would have the coyote and the dog, the sheepdog with his eyes like this?
Yeah.
And then they'd have the ships come in, bread and butter. One would check in, one would check out. That's what happens in the body, right? There's an enzyme called PFK1 that metabolizes, when we eat, it metabolizes our sugar. We eat boom, 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 boom. About 3 hours before we go to bed, this is in line with our pineal gland, our circadian rhythm. As the sun starts to go down, our melatonin levels go up, and we start to get ready to rest. There's a change, there's a shift. There's the dog clocks out, and the other dog comes in, the other coyote comes out, the other coyote comes in. PFK1 turns off, and HMG-CoA reductase takes its place. And that's where a lot of the statins, those cholesterol medications, work. So if you can not eat 3 hours before you go to bed, you don't, because what happens is PFK1, it chops everything up. She's putting it all in, we're going to eat it up. The HMG-CoA reductase, like, hold on, wait, look, ain't nobody here. We're gonna take all this food. Let's take this and make it fat. Let's store this. We're gonna store this and we'll use it later. And when it puts us in the bloodstream, fat in the bloodstream. If y'all ever seen Crisco, y'all remember Crisco? Yeah, man,
Yeah.
Crisco.
Yeah, Crisco. Everybody had on a can of Crisco on their stove.
Yeah. So if you take Crisco and you rub it like this in your hand, you heat it up, it turns into a liquid, right?
That's
Well,
correct.
think in those terms. You're eating a bunch of food, the body's going to store it, and stored energy is fat. Fat in the blood is cholesterol. It's that Crisco, that warm Crisco. So if you can stop eating fast, make your fast end 3 hours before you go to bed, you can lower your cholesterol. And talk to
I
your
like
doctor
that.
about that. And also, if you're taking the statins, if you're taking a statin, talk to your doctor about taking it at night. It's like serving somebody a subpoena. Why would you serve a subpoena if you know he's not there?
Yeah,
If
exactly.
I like that.
HMG reductase is only around at night, why would I take it during the day?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
No, you're right. And I'm
I
so
wanna-
thankful I'm not on any medications, and I wanted to stay that way, Lord's will. So I know, and it's so funny because you're talking about like the rudimentary things that we need to do as a people is to eat right and exercise. We've been taught that since we were kids.
And
But
talk and laugh. And
yeah, exactly. But we fall away from it and act like it's this big mystery. Why am I so sick? Why is all this messed up? Because we're not doing what we
You're
were
not
taught.
moving. You're not doing anything.
Exactly.
You just, you
Exactly.
think that by going up and down the stairs, your body gets there with that.
Not at all.
I want to throw a question out here, Doc. You have to go where you want to go because you can go two different ways on this. I want to talk about seizures, and what I'm coming from a perspective of someone seeing someone with a seizure, because there's numerous reasons that can cause seizures. And the reason why I bring this up, because when I was about 22, 23, I never forget where I was at. I was in Boston. I remember what song was out, As We Lay, Shirley Murdoch. And my friend, I was visiting my friend, and her daughter had a seizure. I never forgotten this. And what we did, the next thing what we did was one of the worst things.
Yep.
We put a spoon in her mouth, in her jaw. She locked the spoon. So when the ambulance, the EMT got there, he said, never, ever do that because of A, B, and C. I never forgot that. Now, I've been around 3 people that had seizures. 2 one on the train, 1 in the street, and my mother. And out of each time, I did the same thing for each person. When they were seizuring, I made sure that they wasn't able to hit their head. I turned them on the side. So because a lot of people do think about, you hear, or they swallow their tongue, or they bite their tongue. One person did bite their tongue on the train. So there was blood. But I turned them on the side so they could drain, their mouth until medical attention could get there. I want you to elaborate on that, because a lot of times people don't know what to do when someone has a seizure. And most of the times I was the only one there while everybody ran. I was the only one there to deal with it. And again, I'm not a medical doctor, but I think we need to know certain things, because you never know what you may come up upon with family, friends, or just people, when you're going to and fro.
so you just beautifully explained the what not to do and what to do. One of the worst things you can do, there's a myth out there they're going to swallow their tongue. Your tongue, I don't know if anyone's ever gone to the grocery store and seen a cow tongue. Your tongue is all the way down here. If you stick your tongue out, you'll notice all this goes away, disappears. Your tongue is all of this. So you don't have to worry about swallowing your tongue. If they bite their tongue, it happens. You do have to worry about injuring someone. You can injure, you can crack teeth, you can injure them. You want to do exactly what you said. You want to make the area as safe and clear as possible. If you want to, what you were preventing is aspiration in case they vomit. You don't want them to swallow and then it get into their lungs. That can be fatal, potentially. So what you did was actually the right thing. You want to keep them as safe as possible, and just try to protect them until the medical services can arrive. And seizures, they're not always, Jessica just said it. I mean, seizures aren't always the violent shaking and convulsing. Sometimes there's absence seizures. There's many different types of seizures. It could be to someone not being therapeutic on the medication. It could be to a nutritional or electrolyte condition. It could be there are idiopathic seizures. Sometimes people just have those. So it's just interesting. What you did was the exact right thing. But people that have seizures, a lot of times they'll be an aura. Meaning that they'll know that it's coming, and they'll be able to tell you what's going on. So again, you want to be aware of your personal conditions, and then if you want to alert those around you that this might be the case, you always want to be therapeutic on your meds. But if someone's having a seizure in front of them, what you said was exactly the right thing. You just want to protect them, call for help, and protect them from themselves as best you possibly can.
Mm-hmm. Great advice.
Yeah, I've been hogging the questions and talking, so I throw it out back to Joe or Jack.
No, it's okay. You know, I had a great question, but
I'm full of questions.
I'd rather save my question when Dr. Griggs is on, because I would love for him to elaborate the next time he's on. And I know we're already at the top of the hour, basically.
Well, one thing I did want to say, you know, when we're thinking about food, and I just thought about this, like we're thinking about healthy foods, right? So if you say you go to the grocery store once a week, right?
Mhm.
Why would you buy something that's sitting there but that can sit on the shelf 3 to 4 weeks? If you go to the grocery store every week, now this is coming up in Paris where you had to go to the grocery store pretty much every day. Why would you buy something to eat that's going to sit on the shelf for the entire month that you're going there? You're going to see that same box, that same bag, and it's good until next month. It's processed. You have to process these things in order for them and add things to them in order for them to stay fresh that long. So that is it really fresh? So when you're thinking of processed and unprocessed foods, again, shopping around the periphery of the grocery store, is that sitting there longer than me? Will it be here long after I'm gone?
So, Doc Griggs, Brother Barnett, Eddie Barnett has this question. My son has a frontal lobe epilepsy. Is there a surgery that can be done?
Well, you know, and that's interesting. I would need to know more about it, and that's more of an appropriate question for like a neurosurgeon or a neurologist to ask. I don't know the details of it, but that would be more one of those. They do have some types of procedures where they can do ablations for different types of seizures and different causes, and I don't know the specifics. So that'd be one to talk over with his neurologist or specifically his neurologist and possibly a neurosurgeon.
Okay, so hopefully, Brother Eddie, you have both of those in your toolbox that you can speak to those individuals and try to get some direction on what to do about your son's frontal lobe epilepsy.
There you go. I have another quick question, Doc, because this is something that I plan to work on. So, like I said, you know, I have to cut down on the starches. The white rice. I don't eat a lot of bread, but there's the other starches. But at the same time, because one of the things I was telling the doctor, which he didn't do yet, but I figured he might have said, "Oh, you might have to go to Ozempic," but he just increased the metformin, and I'm not a big fan of that neither. So I have to take more control with the exercise and the diet there, because it's amazing. Saturday when I got home from the doctor, it is amazing. After I left the doctor, I had pancakes, but I had thins. But by 6 o'clock, I walked in the bedroom and I felt jittery. So the first one I said, okay, is it my nerves or is it because I was driving? But when I felt it again, I said, I think I know what it is. My blood sugar. But my blood sugar has not gone in that area for months. I went there. I stuck my hand. It was 111. I told y'all before, once I get in 110 and start going low, I start to do this. I get jittery. I happen to have food right there, so I was able to eat. So I did that. But the point I'm saying that now I have to monitor myself even more because I'm going to be working out. I'm changing my diet to eat more healthy. Yep. But one of the things, Doc, is like I said, I don't want to lose too much more weight, but I want to build up. You know, I want to get my arms a little bit bigger and my legs back a little bit bigger. What should I be looking at in the sense of I don't eat a lot of red meat because I had a kidney stone back in my 20s. But I stay away. I don't want to build up that uric acid in your body. So I don't want to go back to a lot of red meat, but I want to. What I do? I have more protein. Add more protein to the body. What should I do?
Well, the thing is, if you're going to increase your protein, there's a number of ways that you can get it. You can get it through chickpeas. You can get it through beans. I don't know if you like to eating fish. You don't want to over-proteinate. There is such a thing as too much protein. I think it takes carbohydrates to help build all of it. So you want to be careful with your carbs, but you don't want to over-proteinate. There's a number, just outside of red meat, there's all kinds of ways to get get protein. Let me get a robust list for you.
And Doc, while you're getting that list, pulling that list up, let's talk about this because a lot of folks don't get this. It's called the rewiring when you're diabetic. The normal blood sugar level for a normal person is between 80 and 110. That's normal.
Mhm.
If you're between 80 and 110, you're a normal human being.
I
But
can't
sometimes-
function at 80.
Okay, yeah, but 80 and 110 is for normal human beings. Those of us like myself, I have actually had a diabetic ketoacidosis situation where my blood sugar literally went up to 1,200, and I think it was 1,200 and something.
Ooh.
I literally was paralyzed from the waist down because my blood was like syrup flowing through my body because of my blood sugar. And the doc said, and I remember it very well. The doc looked at me and said, "Doc, if you had got paralyzed from the waist up, we would have been slow singing and flower bringing." He said, "Luckily for you, the apathy hit you from the waist down." But that rewired me. And a lot of people don't, people laugh at me right now. I can have blood sugar at 225 and be functioning like everything's okay because now my body has rewired. And so I just wanted to put that out there because those who you can function with higher blood sugars and you can be okay. Doc about to go grab.
No,
something.
he got the headphones on. He got headphones. So he can hear you.
I can hear you.
I know he can
I'm
hear.
listening.
But no, I just know that, we need to talk about that because some folks, especially when they talk to their doctors, they give numbers like Brother Fatim. It's normal to be between 80 and 110, but Brother Fatim can't function at that level because his body has rewired from the diabetes that now he can function at different levels. So his normal may not be what your normal is.
Yeah, we don't live by numbers on a printout. People live by their lives in the way that, quote unquote, they're wired. I know some folks that have blood sugar so high that the police come, the sheriff comes and says that we have to take you to the hospital, and they're like, "I'm fine." Matter of fact, they were eating something they weren't supposed to at the time. So again, it's knowing your body and you being the MVP of your body, being as conscientious as you are, knowing what your blood sugar is, knowing how you feel. That's why I like the CGMs, the continuous glucose monitoring. I know it's kind of a weird space right now with that, but they work, giving you an idea of what your blood sugar is at all time on your phone. And you correlate that with activities and the way that you feel. You're absolutely right. Again, I know people that have had blood sugar to 600 and they're fine. Then my uncle, if his blood sugar gets to 140, he's like out of it. Like, everyone's different. I'll say that. Now, I did look at this list, and it's quite expansive for other sources of protein: quinoa, lentils, beans, eggs, tofu, if you're a tofu fan, nuts, dairy product, strained yogurt, chickpeas, soy, peanut butter, cottage cheese, nutritional yeast, black beans, pumpkin seeds, legumes, peas, industrial hemp, chia seeds, almonds, edamame, oats, sprouted bread, and peanuts. Those are all things outside of meats that you can enjoy.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate
And
it.
if you
Thank
could
you.
briefly speak about anemia. I know a lot of people of color especially struggle with anemia and not getting enough iron. If you could just talk a little bit about that when you have low levels of iron in the whole anemia realm.
Well, that's something that you want to talk to your doctor about and see, is this a chronic condition? There's a number of anemia means that there's not enough blood. You don't have enough blood. It's a low blood count, I guess, for lack of a better term, right? There could be a number of conditions that women go through at the normal process of once a month. They can tend to be anemic. Signs of anemia can be pica. What is pica? That means wanting to chew ice. And starch. Yeah, that could be a sign. But something worth looking to asking your doctor about to find out why you're not having, either you're not producing enough red blood cells, or you're maybe too many are being destroyed. But again, if it's a chronic condition, there can be this iron supplementation. They can talk about your diet. It's something to be aware of, but have detailed conversations about, because anemia can be caused by a number of things.
Yeah, gotcha. And even vitamin D. If you could just share a little bit about vitamin D. Our people also suffer with a vitamin D deficiency in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and that's something that's newer now that we didn't really think about as African Americans until COVID actually brought it to light. Specifically, vitamin D3. We don't get outside. We don't. Yeah. It's hot. When you talk about exercising, everybody wants to go to a gym. Where's
Mhm.
air conditioning? And there's
Yeah.
natural light. But we have to get out. You get outside. You get your vitamin D. There's ways to get these things assessed. There's blood work that can let you know what you're deficient in. And I do suggest getting blood work prior to just taking supplements, because if you take, there's no FDA regulation on supplements. I want to say that again. There's no FDA regulation, meaning that they have to have, some of them have to have as little as 1.5% of what they advertise in the pill.
Wow.
Mm, mm.
1.5. That means it could be 98.5%, who knows what. But as
Yeah.
long as it has that 1.5% in it, it's vitamin whatever. So you want to be careful about that. You want to talk to your doctor about getting prescription grade vitamin supplements. And another place, again, that I like to talk about is go to the pharmacy. Go to the pharmacy window. Talk to your pharmacist about what's the best vitamin supplement that I can take.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very
So,
important.
Doc,
Thank you so
we
much, Doc.
appreciate you. It's 1 minute to the top of the hour. I know you got doctoring things to do today, and you're on here every Tuesday. So we welcome you every Tuesday for 1 hour to give us conversation, to let us know what conversation we need to start talking to our physicians about, and how we
Yes.
need to look at our health, because your health is your wealth. So before I give you some final words, tell everybody if they need to reach out for you, or if they're in the area of New Orleans, Louisiana, and they want to see the doc. Talk to them about how to get in touch with you on social media and other platforms. Go ahead.
Social media, you can find me on Eric Griggs, MD on LinkedIn. I'm at ericgriggs.griggs on Facebook. On Instagram, on my IG handle is .griggs1. And you can catch me Thursday through Monday every day on Fox 8, WVUE Fox 8 for our health segments. We can start bringing up some of those on here,
Yeah,
because we talked about some cool stuff.
let's do that. Let's do that. We're going to start that very soon. So Doc is on here. It's time to get fit, get moving, get it going, all that good stuff. When Doc Griggs is in the building, all you can say is, "What's up, Doc? What's up, Doc? What's
What's up,
happening?
Doc?
What we
Get
need to
set, get
have."
fit, get moving.
That, that's it. That's it. So give us some closing words, Doc, on your way out the building, man.
Closing words are exactly that. I want you to follow the examples that you see here on the show every week. You have some diligent folks that are serious about their health. They're making sure that their doctors understand that they are the MVP. They're gold medalists. I'm still on my Olympic high. So have a great week. Get checked, get fit, get moving.
There you
Okay.
go. Is Jack
Okay.
still, is she here, or she, because
I'm
she said
still
she
here.
froze?
Yep, I froze.
be-
I didn't want to log off,
she'll-
so I'll do my closing words.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Doc. Wonderful, wonderful information. We love you so much. We appreciate you even more. Everyone, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, love the Most High, and just push forward today and have an amazing, amazing day. May God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow. If nobody told you they love you today, know that Jax loves you. Peace out.
Peace. All right.
Tell
And
the truth Tuesday. Come on, brother Fatim. Tell the truth on your way out the building,
there
man.
you go. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to definitely our special guest, Dr. Griggs, for sharing his invaluable insights on diabetes, healthy eating, and the importance of becoming smarter about our health. Remember, the journey to better health begins with small, consistent steps, whether it's making better food choices or simply being more mindful of our bodies. Let's continue to educate ourselves, empower our communities, and prioritize our well-being. Until next time, stay informed, stay healthy, and keep speaking.
Our brother Fatim, yours truly on this Tell the Truth Tuesday, 20th day of August, 2 minutes past the top of the hour. Simply said, be better today than you were yesterday. Do something today to be a blessing to someone, somewhere, somehow. You don't have to know them, but be a blessing to them. That there's what you do, there's no earthly way that they could ever pay you back. And you don't have to post everything you do either. I'm just saying that. You just don't really have to. If you're really doing it from the heart, you don't have to post everything you do. Remember that there is no secret what God can do. What he has done for others, he will and he can do for you. For when God is with you, nothing or no one can stand against you. Tomorrow is Work It Out Wednesday. We'll be back in the building. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Y'all have a great day. We out of here. Peace.
Oh, Father, tell me, do we get what we deserve? Oh, we get what we deserve. And where down we go, 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 go. Oh, where down we go, 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 go. So where down we go, way down we go.